Hi, this is Shane with the Rational Trader, and we've been working on this trail to the zigzag functionality. So what we're doing is we want to give the market more room to work, and then trail to the pullback, and then also add to the position, and then from there trail to each of the pullbacks. Okay. And so one of the things we were struggling with, let me see if I can show this here, is right here. This would be a good example. So if we got in, say here, like right in here, all right, here, something like that. Then a normal 20-tick trail just gets you out right there, and you're really unhappy. Okay. And so what we want to do is we want to trail to here first of all, and that's what this pink line is. I'm giving it 3 ticks off that pullback level. Okay. And then the other thing we want to do is we want to add under certain conditions, and then continue to trail to the pullback. So carrying multiple contracts, trailing to the pullback, and a couple things need to happen. When we add, we've got to move the stop to break even, or break even plus 1, actually. All right. And then we need to trail to the zigzag. All right. And so there's a couple behaviors that come into play here. And so we have a case here where this is going to this happened today. And so let's watch it happen, play. Okay. So there's the long off the failed break from the machine learning system. Okay, so now we're at this point we're trailing by 40. That's what we've told the system to do. We're giving it 40 ticks of room. It's a lot of room in order for it to pull back. We want to give it room to pull back. And let's stop right here for a minute, because normally we'd be out. A 20-tick trail would have us out like right there, and we'd have made like 6 points. Not a bad trade, okay? But watch what happens with the power of adding, and with being willing to give the market a little more to work with. All right. The first thing to notice is that we started to trail by 40 ticks. So that's one of the trails that's happening. Okay. We're not willing to give it more than 40 ticks. If it completely reverses on us, let's at least get something. So if the market went up, 80 ticks, we'll at least make 40 on it, straight up. Here you'll see that pink line is drawing at what looks like the pullback level. It's actually 3 ticks off the pullback level. What you're going to see happen when this bar finishes drawing, the actual stop is going to move to that level. It's not very dramatic because it's so close, but that's what's going to happen. In fact, you saw it go bright pink there. And then what happened, hold on, we got to pause here. Then what happened is we have an auto add happening here for one of the behaviors. I believe it's adding because of a break, okay? And so now there's another stop move thing that happens. All right, a minor interruption there. So what's happening is we're automatically moving the stop to break even plus 1. Okay, so again, the idea here is that no human intervention is involved. All right, so we require that we have a certain amount of distance. All right, and that's configurable, so that we can move the stop to break even. All right, and at this point, keep in mind now we've taken $50 of risk on our first trade, and at this point we now have 2 contracts in the market with a stop right here. All right, now at this point, 2 things are going to happen. The market is going to trail by 40 ticks because that's what we told it to do. All right. It's also going to trail to the zigzag. So you'll see actually there's another zigzag level right here. As soon as it's confirmed, it'll go dark pink, and then the next bar, stop will move. In this case, it's just 1 tick, so it's not too dramatic. And then we're waiting now. The other thing just to point out while we're waiting here is that here's a case where if you're watching this, you're getting pretty anxious. But if you just leave it alone, instead of making your 6 points, you're going to make 40. Okay, we have a second contract in the market right there. We're now trailing by 40. And actually, there's the target up there. We're going to hit that target, I think. Actually, I'm hoping we get another zigzag here because I want to show that. And then, yeah, okay, so when this bar goes pink, when the wave completes, we're going to move that. We're going to move this stop automatically. It just happened. Okay, so we're trailing to the zigzag, trailing to the pullback. And now at this point, so we've tightened up, right? If we roll over, we're going to get taken out right there. And you can see the stop has moved. Now, a couple of things. I might have to do this again to demonstrate them, though. Because this is happening automatically. There are studies that are looking at the price and the stops, and they're automatically moving them. Let's finish this off, and then we'll have to do it again to show what I want to show. Okay, so there we hit target. 80 tick targets, that's a standard target for me. What ends up happening here is we got in down here. We set the target to 80, and then we added. We moved the stop to break even. We also altered the target to be now 80 from the break even level. So we end up making, just because of the math, we end up making 20 points twice plus a little extra. All right, so again, think about it. You had either a 6-point gain on a 20-tick trail, all right, or a 40-point gain by just letting the system work. Okay, it's not always going to work this well. There's going to be times when it comes back and you add here and then you end up scratching. All right, but look at the difference, 6 to 40. That's almost 8 times the amount. So it doesn't take that many times for it to work for you to make up for the times where you end up scratching out because you added and the market didn't move for you. And let me set this up for one more run. There's something else I want to show you about manually moving the stops, and then we'll call it a night here. All right, so I've restarted it here. Stop is trailing by 40 ticks. When we add, this is going to come back down. It's not going to take us out, thankfully. It's going to advance back up. We're going to do an add. Stop's going to move to break even +1 automatically. I just want to see that again. Right there, we added here, right? Stop moved, break even +1 automatically. Now, let me speed this up a bit to get to the point I need to get to. Actually, I can do it right here. Let me slow it down. So there's a stop here. Now, if I move that stop, it's going to move it back to the zigzag. All right, or it's no different than if you were trailing by X amount and you move the stop away. The next tick, it's going to trail back. It's going to trail again. So the system is looking for, should I move the stop? Yes, and it moves it. But it's only allowed to move it in one direction. So you can move closer if you want, and it won't move it now. Okay, if you move further away, it's gonna take it back. Now philosophically, I really like this, because you should not be moving your stop further away. That's usually a sign that you're lost control of your plan. Okay, so you can move the stop towards your price, but not away from it. Okay, because the system's going to grab it and replace it at the zigzag or at the 40-tick trail in this case. All right. Now, curiously, this target here, that's not the case. No matter what I do to the target, it's going to move back. All right. I could actually, I might be able to change that with an option. That's interesting. We'd have to ask ourselves what we want. What's happening is the target is being moved to the break-even level plus some number, and we gave it that number. But we'll have to see what the options are. If you wanted to move it out or move it back, then you might have to disable the study. Again, if you're doing that, I got to question if you're in control of yourself. Usually when you start moving stuff around, it's because you've gotten excited or you've gotten afraid. And the whole point is, don't let human emotion affect what's happening. I want this to break through one more time, and show you what I mean here. So we move the stop again, just one little tick, because we have a short wave here. A good case where the market's thrashing sideways, but finally it breaks. Let's pause here. I can move this stop away from here, all right? But the 40-tick trail will just move it back, right? You're probably used to seeing that. I can move it closer, and it'll be fine, right? And there's no zigzag to get in the way. All right, so I think the message here is, look, we can auto move the stops the way we want. We can set the trail here to give us enough room to survive the pullback, and then we can trail to the pullback all automatically and all visually clear what's happening. Okay, and then you're able to move the stop towards price, but not away without the system checking to see if it should be moving it, back towards price on you. Okay, all right, that's it for today. I'm going to be live testing this next week. I live tested it today, but I didn't get this code today because of I'm changing the DLLs. I was testing old and new. The new one correctly gives us this code. The old one did not, so it's more accurate. So I didn't get this, unfortunately. And let's see, for members, I'll send a separate message on what everything is happening this weekend, and then what next week looks like. Okay, that's it for today.